said you learned about how to fill these out by word of mouth.
That's correct. Some of it's self-explanatory and some of it I patterned after my on-duty
Okay,
procedure.
so your procedure was to look at it, some of it was self-explanatory, some of it was patterned on with regard to your normal performance of your functions, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall there ever being a meeting of supervisors where everybody came together and said, this is how we're gonna do this?
No.
Okay. You ever recall there being rules and regulations, SOPs? This is what's gonna transpire, this is what's involved? Okay. Do you recall there ever being the distribution of standard operating procedures, rules and regulations, anything like that on how this would be handled?
Regarding off-duty work?
Off-duty work on the DOT?
No.
Okay. So, you went into this based upon what you thought was self-explanatory documents, correct?
Yes.
Your own experience, correct?
Yes.
At that point, 26 years on the job,
Yes.
right? And you did it to the best of your ability based upon what you understood the rules to be, correct?
Correct.
And in terms of rules, they were what you brought to it with regard to your own experience and the self-explanatory nature of it, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, I think you indicated that Joe Ascalise was, what unit did you say he was in charge of?
I believe at the time he was the Special Operations Commander.
Okay, you remember hearing that he was in charge of the DOT?
Yes, I believe I heard that he was in charge of the DOT.
Okay. In fact, do you remember telling the prosecutor, by the way, when did you last meet with the prosecutor?
First time about 3 years ago, last time maybe 4 months ago.
4 months ago.
That's an estimate, yeah.
Okay, and was that to go over your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And you said about don't mean to disappear on the screen. You said about 3 years ago, do you recall getting a statement sometime around September 30th, 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And you remember telling them that at times you saw, well, let me get it straight. Just make sure I heard you. That you might have seen Ascalise moving around on these DOT details.
I may have.
Okay, so in terms of this project and what was transpiring, you may have actually seen Ascalise out and about, not standing at a particular post, but out and about moving through various parts of the city dealing with this issue.
I may have. I know I definitely heard him over the radio.
You heard him over the radio. So let's be clear. I want to talk about radios for a second, just take a quick detour. You testified that you used the radio, correct?
Yes.
I think in your statement back in 2015, you said on 3 separate occasions, you used the radio to check on the details of who may or may not be on a particular post?
After I check visually, then I
Yeah.
check on the radio.
Okay,
That's correct.
so you used the radio on this DOT supervision detail, correct?
Yes.
You heard Ascalise on the radio with regard to this DOT supervisor, in his capacity as running the DOT supervisory position, correct?
Yes.
Addressing, I guess, over the radio, traffic issues with this DOT, correct?
Don't specifically remember, but I know I heard him on the radio.
Okay, well, did he come on the radio and say, how do you take your coffee? Or was he dealing with?
Not to me, he didn't.
Okay, fine. So he was dealing with, to the best of your knowledge, he was doing law enforcement work.
Yes.
All right. Now, you also, do you recall, you said your functions, earlier you said your function was, if I'm not mistaken, to get to the post address, if you will, the intersection, confirm the officers there, and confirm that they're wearing, bless you, confirm that they're wearing their traffic vests
Yes.
as well as in their uniforms, correct?
Full uniform equipment and
Okay. And then you would sign their vouchers, that's what you testified to earlier, correct? And that's what you understood to be your function, correct?
yes.
However, you had a supervisory function. Do you recall telling the prosecutor that on occasion you would move people to deal with different traffic positions?
Yes, if I had an extra officer show up at a specific post and I had an open post, I would shift them to the open post.
Okay, so on occasion you would actually take somebody who was assigned to one post and move them somewhere else to deal with specific traffic related issues at that post, correct?
Yes.
And if you had the authority to do that as the what do we call you, the district supervisor?
The off-duty supervisor.
Off-duty supervisor within that north district?
Yes.
Or what, was this the west, what district was this?
This encompassed a few different districts.
Ah, two different districts, okay. But this was okay, so this actually moved from district to district throughout this, let me withdraw that and try and make sure we have this clear for myself and the court. Jersey City, it's broken up into various geographic districts?
4, yes.
4, north, south, east, and west?
Yes.
Very good. I grew up in Jersey City. I remember the north was up on Central and Hutton,
Yes.
correct? Okay. I won't tell you any more about my experiences at Central and Hutton, but that I recall. So that was the North District. You had districts throughout the city, correct?
Yes.
This DOT moved around from not just within those districts, it moved around, and you would touch on several different of those districts as you went and did your review of the posts you just described, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you would move from place to place, and on occasion move somebody if necessary, as you just described, correct?
Yes.
Any reason at all to believe that Ascalese, as the commander of this unit, did not have the ability to do that?
I had no knowledge of that.
Okay. Were you getting emails every day about traffic?
No.
Were you getting emails about complaints by councilmen and mayors and citizens about traffic?
No.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to show you something. In terms of D35, do you recognize the first page?
Yes.
What is that?
That's an off-duty pay voucher for Officer Reyes Cartagena from June 4th, 2014, 0600 till 1000 hours.
Okay, now where does he say he was working?
Communicorn Crescent?
Communicorn Crescent, was that a DOT detail?
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like to me.
Communicorn Crescent, I believe was a, yes, that was a DOT detail.
Okay. Go to the second page of this document. And that has the first one has your signature on it, correct?
Yes.
This is Gisela Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay. DOT detail,
Yes.
June 4th,
Yes.
signed by you?
Yes.
Communicorn Crescent, correct?
Yes.
All right, now, if you would, go to the last page. Remember these, we just looked at one before, the Jersey City Police Department Pulaski Skyway detail?
Yes.
Communicorn Crescent, that's a one-man post?
Yes.
Okay. And you have 2 people that you signed for on Communicorn Crescent, correct?
Yes.
All right, now, let's look at your log for completeness. You have Cartagena at Communicorn Grand, correct?
Yes.
Not Crescent, correct?
Right.
Okay. You said before, I'm not here to trap you or cause problems. You said before that you've checked them for truthfulness and accuracy, correct?
Yes.
All right. And so here, we have you signing off on something that's not accurate because you have Cartagena at a different location, correct?
Yes, looks like a mistake.
Okay, a mistake. Okay. So in terms of a form, one of these forms going in, and in terms of truthfulness and accuracy, again, it's the best of your recollection. As you sit here now, it was just a mistake, an honest mistake in terms of what transpired, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take that back from you. I'll show you some more. 36. Now, I know this one is dated September 23rd, 2014. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. And that's a Taddeo,
Yes.
Stephen Taddeo, you know who that is?
Yes.
Officer?
Yes.
Okay. And he says he's working where?
He says he's working at Communicorn and JFK.
Okay. And what's the next one?
Looks like my activity sheet.
Actually, should be Tucker. You have Tucker in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with the Tucker.
Yes.
Okay, Leon Tucker,
Yes.
Veritas Acritas. See that there?
Yeah, Nice.
Okay, and what does he say he was working?
He said he was at Communicore and the Boulevard, it looks like.
So commutable on the boulevard. Now, where does your sheet show Taddeo?
Communicore and Bergen.
And where does Taddeo say it was?
And he's saying there's a Communicore and JFK.
Okay, now, is it another mistake?
Apparently, yes.
Well, you also talked about moving somebody to pick up another area someplace if necessary, correct?
Correct.
So very well could have been a scenario where it's either a mistake or or an undocumented move from one post to the next to get someone to cover one post as opposed to another, correct?
Yes.
Because you testified earlier that you did that type of thing.
Yes.
So either way, the documents say, they say that somebody was not where they say they were, correct?
Yes.
But could have been a mistake, it could have been a move that you made, could have been any number of things, correct?
Could have been a move, yes.
Okay. And again, would you say there were a lot of moving parts with regard to this DOT detail?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, there was a lot going on in the city where they were trying to deal with this traffic chaos, I think is what we settled on as the proper language before, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Take a look at D37 if you would. Now, this is May 13, 2014 date, correct?
Yes.
All right, now. You signed a, that your signature?
Yes.
You signed Robert Madry?
Majority.
Being on Marin and Columbus?
Yes.
And then the second page is your log, correct?
Yes.
Is he on your log?
No.
Okay. Well, so here's a situation where someone doesn't appear on your log, you happen to sign for him on this occasion, correct?
Yes.
If you saw him somewhere out there, would you have written him on your, well, under normal circumstances, if you saw him out there,
I signed his voucher.
sign his voucher, correct? You'd also put it on this off-duty activity sheet, correct?
Yes, I would.
Okay, and he's not there, correct?
No.
Okay. Now, let me be clear, not accusing you of any wrongdoing. Could have been a move you made, correct?
Yes.
Could have been a mistake, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Paperwork you were shown by Mr. Stoma omits Mike O'Neill from your log, and paperwork signed by another supervisor, correct?
That's correct.
Here, you yourself sign the paperwork, but he's not on your log, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You weren't up to anything inappropriate, were you?
No.
No, so it's a mistake, it's a move, it's some kind of shift in terms of this paperwork and the reliability or lack thereof of the paperwork, correct?
Yes, apparently so.
By the way, did the state ever ask you about any documents that you did with regard to this matter, other than the one that you testified about here today?
As far as mistakes,
Yeah, as far as anything.
yes, he asked me if my paperwork was usually in good order, and I told him yes.
Oh, okay. Well, did he show you other paperwork?
Not to my recollection.
Did they challenge you and all say, what about this, what about that, what about this, what about that?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have the statement. I don't see it in there. Did you have any other conversations with them other than that statement?
No.
D38?
Actually, take a look, we marked as D38.
Yes.
Now, just tell me what D38 is.
That is my off-duty pay voucher for May 30th of 2014 from 6 to 10.
Okay. And, on the bottom there, because we don't have we didn't receive a log with regard to this, patrol log, because we didn't get one. On the bottom there, you write posts, correct?
Right.
I want to be clear. In terms of this numbering, we showed you before there were 52 posts, right?
Correct.
And you go up to 62, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, just a good faith mistake, correct?
Yeah, just look at my, yeah, apparently so, because this is the master list for that day, and it goes up to 52.
Right, okay, so, just looking at this, however, we, if you look at the last page there, it kind of looks like, we just added 10 to all the numbers, do you see that?
Yes,
Okay, all right, that seems,
yes, that would make a line all 40 instead of.
yeah, all right, so it kind of looks like you just added 10 to everything. But you have a scenario where you've got 61, wherever that is uncovered. You see that?
Yes,
Okay, so you're moving around, you're writing these numbers down or whatever, you get the numbers wrong, but you also say that 61, Communipaw and Junction was uncovered, at least that scenario, correct?
yes,
All right. But over here, it's got somebody working it, correct?
yes.
All right, now, did you make a note as to, because you showed me before where you wrote out, I showed you the one before where you crossed out who was there and who wasn't.
Right,
Remember that?
yes,
So I'm just looking at your system and the way that you approach this stuff. You showed me the one before where you hand wrote out the names. I marked, it was 9D. It was handwritten out, you hand wrote out on the form,
yes.
correct? Did you do that here?
No,
Okay, so I guess you wrote the wrong numbers down and maybe it was a long day or whatever.
if it was uncovered, then K2E would either have a voucher signed or unsigned, if it went uncovered.
Okay.
Skyway 51.
All right, but either way, you didn't make any notes on it to make that, so so this here says it was uncovered, but we don't know what transpired with regard to that, because we don't have any notes or anything on here.
Correct.
Okay. D39, this is July 1st date. See that?
Yes,
Okay. Now, you made the notes here
on my,
on your supervisory print
okay,
about posts going uncovered. You see that?
yes,
Okay. And this is the 1530 to 1700 you went out there, correct?
I'll have to check the voucher in a second. Voucher here. I have, the master sheet says 1500 to 1900.
No, I understand, but your supervisor's off-duty activity log,
Okay.
you're out there from 1530 to 1700. I mean, that's the range of time, correct?
Oh, yes, correct, okay, the booking times.
All right, now you say, you make a note and say 22, 23, and 24 went uncovered.
Yes,
See that?
yes,
And what posts are 22, 23, and 24?
that would be Johnson Avenue Light Rail, J.C. Boulevard in Wilson, and Garfield and Cable Point.
Okay. Now, if you could, go to the voucher back here for Rodney Collington.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what post is that?
Johnson Avenue light rail.
Okay, stop right there, Johnson Avenue Light Rail.
I think that's what it says.
That's what it looks like to me. It says light rail tracks,
Hang on, I don't know if that's-
Johnson Ave, light rail tracks, that's what I read.
Okay.
Does that look like it to you?
Vaguely.
Okay, but you just told me that was uncovered,
Right.
because your list here says 22 uncovered.
Yes.
Okay, so 22 went uncovered, then why do we have a voucher for it?
Can I explain that?
Okay, let's go to 23. I think you said 23 was,
22 and 23 uncovered due officers on duty schedule.
okay. 22, 23 is Jersey City and Wilson Boulevard, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And let's go to Raymond Solt, S-O-L-T,
Yes.
right? Where does he say he worked?
Wilson Avenue, Jersey City Boulevard.
And where'd you sign it?
I signed him. Salt. Jersey City Boulevard in Wilson.
And that you also list as uncovered.
Right.
So, the documents are what they are, but was it covered or was it uncovered?
It must have been covered because I signed their vouchers.
But your form says it was uncovered.
That's correct.
Okay, so which one should we trust?
I would trust the voucher.
Okay, so then your patrol log, which has different information on it, is probably less reliable, correct?
On this day.
Okay. Well, it's your patrol log that omits O'Neill and Maietti on June 6th. And I just, my client's in the dock here, I'm trying to figure it out. Should we not trust your patrol log this day but trust it that day? Or is it just too many mistakes that we really don't know what we can do because it's just a recollection on the documents?
Could you ask me that again?
I'll withdraw. Let me just put it this way. Your patrol log was your recollection, correct? That's what you,
Yes.
on which day?
On all of these days, actually.
Okay, so your recollection's impaired because you have stuff uncovered that your vouchers say are covered, correct?
According to this paperwork, that's correct.
Okay, all right. And again, Deb, I'm not accusing you of anything.
I understand.
A lot of mistakes, a lot of back and forth, except my client's sitting there because allegedly in 2 days he wasn't seen on a particular post. And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this. Your patrol log says something different than the voucher says, correct?
Yes.
I just take a look at D40. What's D40?
That's my off-duty pay voucher for May 30th of 2014, 6 to 10.
Okay. Yeah. You have your list down here. God bless you. This is the one with the 50 through 62, but I'm raising it for a different point this time, okay? Take a look at, you have Vias at 59. You see it? See that? Villas? Right here, the first one, right on the first page here.
50, Vilas, 59, okay.
Okay, now, go to your, I'll proffer to you that we did not see a patrol log on this particular day from you. I talked about that before because this is the one where you mark it 50 to 62. All right, but we do have your notes down here and you have Vilas at 59. You see that?
Yes.
All right, now go to the next page. Vilas submits something, signed, that says he was at Grand Street and Communicore Avenue,
Yes.
and it's signed by who?
Not me.
Not you.
No.
Okay. So, And I know there's notes down here about verified officer's voucher was not received, but you say you saw him that day. You see it? We'll strike that. I withdraw it. Your paper says that he's on post 59 on May 30th, 2014. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. And it's signed by, I believe, that's Corso. You know Corso?
Yes, I know Frank Corso.
Okay. And if we go to Corso, the next page, we have his details, off-duty his supervisor's off-duty activity sheet, and we don't see Vilas on there, right?
Right.
Okay, so did anybody ever ask you after the fact, why is this not signed by you?
No.
Anybody ever approach you and say, I got a guy submitting that he worked, and you were the supervisor on that shift, and we don't have any proof that he actually worked that day on your strike that. Anybody ever say anything about the fact that a different supervisor had a signature on there?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. So as you're sitting out, you just can't explain how.
It looks like another supervisor signed my guy's voucher.
Okay. And that you can't understand or explain how that happened.
I know, not that I recall.
Okay. Your Honor?
D 41.
Huh? Yeah. Okay. Take a look at what we marked as D41.
Yes.
Okay, now, D41 is a date that we just looked at. And I would ask you to take a look at that first page of Matthew Sciarra. See that? Is that what it is?
Scalcione, I believe.
Scalcione, my God. I should be ashamed of myself. Scalcione. And you signed his paperwork, right?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you say he was working?
Montgomery and Center?
Montgomery and Center.
That's what
So,
it said.
you signed Scalcione's paperwork saying he was working at Montgomery and Center on the 30th at 6 a.m. to 10, 6 a.m. to 10
Yeah.
a.m., right?
Yes.
Well, I marked that D1? D41.
D 41.
Thank you. Now, if you go back several pages, there's a supervisor off-duty activity sheet. You see that?
Yes.
Whose is that?
Larry Quish.
Quish.
Yes.
And what does Quish say about Matthew Scalcione?
He has him at Montgomery and Center.
Montgomery and Center. And you're not Quish, correct?
No.
And so, why do I have a supervisor's activity sheet signed by Quish with Scalcione on it with a voucher signed by you?
I don't recall. I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's go to Dwayne Dowell. Sign that one too, right?
Yes.
Montgomery and Center?
Yes.
Who was the supervisor? You signed it.
I signed it, correct.
Go back to Quish's paperwork.
That one, like I'm gonna sign it.
On Quish's paperwork,
Correct,
not on yours,
right.
okay? Any idea how you started signing for someone else's, post?
Usually I usually don't. I don't know, maybe if you possibly, I don't know. I don't
Okay, so you
know.
don't-
Of course,
you just
I don't
you
know.
don't.
You could ask me, maybe, I don't know.
And we could go through these, Acevedo, Pacific and Ash, that's your signature,
Yes,
and Pacific and Ash, you got Acevedo, and that's Quish, correct?
yes,
And Aguilar, he's at Pacific and Johnson, correct?
yes,
And Quish has him there, but you signed for him.
yes,
Okay. And then we got Scott Rogers, right? Same deal, Johnson Light Rail, you sign it, but Quish has him on his activity log for May 30th, 2014, correct?
yes,
Same deal for Jackson, correct?
yes,
Okay. No idea how that got there?
no,
Okay, so one supervisor signing for officers on another, another supervisor's daily activity log, correct?
yes,
All right, there we go. And again, when you met with the prosecutor's office, they did not one time say, hey, just want to check about this anomaly here, or I want to ask you about this issue here, not one time, correct?
that paperwork, that's the first time I'm saying it.
That paperwork, you mean that whole wall of paperwork, and everything was put across the board?
Correct,
Okay, it's not the first time you've seen it, you saw it when you signed it,
yes.
but in terms of being brought together,
Since then, it's the first.
in terms of the issues being raised, that's the first time you've seen it. Okay. You're on it.
D42.
Show you P42. See P42?
Yes.
What's P42?
An off-duty pay voucher for P.O. Robert, looks like Kano,
Hang on. Okay,
from June 19th to 14th.
now. You have Tano on your supervisor's off-duty activity log, correct?
I have, yes,
So, Tano was out there. At least according to your off-duty activity log, correct?
07:35 hours, I'm out there, so,
But he's signed by somebody else, correct?
yes.
Who's he signed by?
Lieutenant Chesler,
Okay, why, if you rolled up, you made the contact, you had the face-to-face, why would someone else have signed that voucher?
I don't know.
Oh. All right. And for the purpose of completeness, if we look one step further, Chesler was out there as well, but she doesn't have Tano on her list, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But you signed for him, I'm sorry, that you reported him out there, but you described the system. You would roll up, you'd see an officer, you would sign, you'd note it, but in this particular case at least, another supervisor signed the paperwork, correct?
Correct, looks like she passed him and signed his sheet.
I'm sorry, what?
It looks like she passed him and signed his sheet.
Well, you say it looks like that, you have no knowledge or information at all about the scenario, correct? I mean, it's not like you made a note, I mean, you made plenty of notes on these other occasions. Where, here, case point went uncovered. You don't have a note there that says, she signed someone else's form, right?
No.
Okay. So that's what it looks like, but I don't have any notes of that, you don't have any notes of that, nor do you have any recollection, correct?
Correct.
All we have is what we have on these documents. What do we have? 43. Your Honor.
D43.
And again, you mentioned that you would radio back and forth with people about this, there'd be radio traffic on this, correct?
Yes,
So if somebody had taken the time to capture that radio traffic by way of securing those transmissions, an audio of those transmissions, we'd go back and we could listen at least on occasion to you radioing in and out on these matters, correct? Might answer some of these questions about where people are and what's going on, right?
correct.
Okay. D43. Who's Raymond Mahan?
He was a sergeant since retired.
A sergeant since retired, okay. Says, but you said sergeants or supervisors could work these posts at the patrolman's rate, correct?
Correct,
You want to make some money, you throw on a vest, you go out there and you direct traffic, correct?
yes,
And you sign his document, correct?
yes.
Where is he on your log?
It's not on my log.
Okay, well, I mean, this is your recollection. This is what you, take down in terms of what is transpiring out there and what's going on, correct?
Yes,
And, you said now you have no recollection as to why you signed a voucher for someone who's not on your log, right?
yes.
I'll be reading that. Thank you. Your Honor.
D44.
Yeah. Yeah, from the section, then I'll ask her. Okay.
Three.
Now, take a look at D44, if you would. I need to hand it to you first. Thank you, sorry. D44. Okay. You have the off-duty supervisor activity sheet here, you see that?
Yes,
And you have a J.M. Rodriguez at Lincoln Park on your lot, correct?
correct.
But who's Hoffman?
Billy Hoffman, sergeant since retired.
Sergeant since we, but he's supervisor, he's the one who signs, correct?
He signed J.M. Rodriguez voucher.
All right, even though you are telling us you are telling us by way of this supervisor's off-duty activity sheet that you saw Rodriguez there, correct?
Correct,
And by the way, in that column, there's no times on this one.
correct.
Okay, so before you said you would go out and you would list the time you saw everybody and you would take your route and go there, but this time you just stopped writing times?
Apparently,
Okay? And you just have another supervisor signing for somebody on your lot, correct?
yes.
No explanation for that?
I don't recall.
Okay. And let's take a look at the first page. You see, I guess it's Saad Hashmi?
Hashmi, yes.
Saad Hashmi, okay. You know who that is?
Not offhand.
Not offhand, okay. Well, we see this pay voucher, and it appears you signed for him at Junction.
Yes,
Okay, that's you and that's your signature there?
yes.
Okay. What's Junction?
That's the, where Communicore Avenue, Grant Street, and Summit Avenue all converge. It's
Communipore,
known as a junction.
Grand, and Summit. Okay. Now, looking at the last page here, is Junction shorthand for that intersection?
Yes.
All right. Looking at the last page, if you could just tell me what Skyway number that would be.
Junction would be considered Communicore and Grant.
And it has in parens,
Junction, yes.
JNCT Junction,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So by affixing your signature to this pay voucher, you were attesting, strike that, were you attesting the truthfulness and accuracy of his pay voucher?
My signature means that I had him at that location at that time.
Okay, go to the next page. Now, what is the next page? I want to be clear. The date on the prior question was September 23rd, 2014. What is, and what is the supervisor's off-duty activity sheet dated September 23rd, 2014?
It's dated September 23rd, 2014.
And does that, those locations, does that correspond, if you look at the last page, does that correspond to the Pulaski Skyway detail sheet that you worked out on 9/23/2014?
Yes,
It does, right?
yes.
Okay. Now, looking at this sheet, Saeed Hashmi, you signed for him, and you just said you would have noted him on that intersection, correct?
Yes.
All right, now, I see Skyway 49 and 50, and what names does it have there?
Communicore and Grant Junction, and Sanchez and Galano.
Okay, Sanchez and Galana. Are they even there? I'm sorry, is Hashmi there? I apologize. Hashmi.
On the master sheet?
Forget the master sheet.
No.
You didn't do the master sheet, but you hand wrote out
My
the super-
activity sheet.
The activity sheet.
Do not have Hashmi on the activity sheet.
Nowhere, correct?
Correct.
So you just testified that you may have seen him there, or if this document says you saw him there, but the first page says you saw him there, but the second page, you don't have him there. Second page.
Correct. I have Galano and Sanchez.
Okay.
At the junction.
All right. Obviously, the paperwork doesn't match up, correct?
Correct.
Take a look at the top of this page, the second page here. It says Sky 45 went uncovered, right?
Yes.
And it says several other officers sent to other posts. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, when it says several other officers sent to other posts, what does that mean?
They were sent to other DOT posts that were uncovered.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. If you sign a pay voucher for somebody and then send them out to a separate post to cover it, you said you did that yesterday, right? I mean, yes, that's right. Yesterday when you testified, you said you would send people to other uncovered posts.
Yes.
You would use your supervisory authority to send them, correct?
Yes.
So, would you go back and have them fill out a new pay voucher?
That would be the proper way of doing it with the new location. That's correct.
The proper way? Who says that's the proper way?
It's just the way you do it on regular patrol. That's all.
The way you do it on regular patrol, but this wasn't regular patrol, this was DOT, correct?
Correct.
So, and by the way, this was a very big project, correct?
Yes.
Involving potentially over 100 officers every day if all the posts were filled, correct?
Yes.
You-
Two minutes ago.
You didn't normally get those size projects, did you?
No.
No. So this was a massive undertaking. And so, again, you were just bringing your experience and your own approach, I think, is what you described yesterday in words of effect. You recall that?
Yes,
All right. So, and you move people all the time, correct?
yes, not every day, but yes, it happens.
Okay. I mean, then if only one intersection, one Skyway DOT intersection was noted on their paperwork, they still might get moved to other locations, correct?
Yes, this voucher here, he started at 0700, which means he was a late start. He might have worked a midnight tour and got added on.
Okay. Still not on your tour log, still not on your log,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
And you have that log, you have that location covered by someone else, correct?
Yes, Galano and Sanchez.
So then you put him somewhere else. So people getting moved around was a common occurrence, correct?
Yes,
And in terms of there being a address on a voucher, did you understand yourself to be committing a crime if you were involved in moving somebody from one point to another to go address a traffic issue?
no,
No, you were addressing traffic issues, correct?
yes,
So people didn't have to stand for any period of time on one post that might be noted on their voucher. They had to go out and deal with whatever the traffic was as it came up, correct?
uncovered posts would be covered, yes.
Okay. And you indicated, I believe, that that was something you did in this DOT detail during this period of time, correct?
Yes,
It wasn't about being wed to the paperwork. It was about getting the job done in terms of covering traffic issues.
correct.
Okay. D46, the first page, you know Joseph Dwyer?
Yes,
Who's that?
West District Police Officer, I believe.
Okay. Now, you have him here at Communipaw 1 and 9, correct?
Yes,
From the 6 to 10?
yes,
Look at the next page. This is on September 26th?
yes,
Okay. And where is he? Next page, your supervised off-duty activity log, correct?
correct.
From September 26, 2014?
Yes,
Same date as the log?
yes,
Same time period?
yes,
Okay. Where's Dwyer?
not on there.
Now, wait a minute. You've got the supervisor's activity log. You sign, as you approach people, you tell us, and you sign this one for Dwyer on September 26th, and he's not on your log anywhere. Correct?
Yes,
Can you explain that?
he may have been relocated, or he might have switched off with somebody. Obviously, it was a mistake.
Okay. So when you say may have been relocated, let me focus on that. What do you mean by may have been relocated?
If there was an open DOT post somewhere else,
You may have,
I may have switched him.
as a supervisor, you may have moved him to a place that needed attention, correct?
Correct.
What we marked as D47. Tell me if you recognize that first page.
Yes, it's a off-duty pay voucher for Officer Paul Jensen.
Jensen, okay. Now, let's look at that signature. Is that your signature?
No,
So there's an off-duty pay voucher with the, could we agree, it looks like that Lieutenant Neil Donnelly is written there?
yes,
And then there's an off-duty pay voucher that is signed, but it's not by you,
yes,
correct?
yes, correct.
Did you give anybody the authority to sign your name?
Not that I recall.
Did you perhaps engage somebody in the radio?
Not that I recall.
Okay, take a look at the second page. You see Jensen on your supervisor off-duty activity sheet?
Yes,
Okay. And where does he put down that he is?
Haven Point, Garfield.
And on his Office of Off-Duty Employment Pay Voucher, where does he say that he was?
It looks like Haven Point, Garfield.
So you saw him there,
Correct?
right?
Yes,
You made according to you, you made contact with him, correct?
Yes,
And we see his pay voucher put in, correct?
yes.
But for some reason, on this particular day, you just can't explain why the signature is not yours.
Correct.
Okay, look at the third page of this document. That's your supervisor detail, correct?
Yes, 10-7.
Okay, and I mean, and you got Jensen there as well on that, right? On the third page.
Yes,
Are we looking at the same thing? I apologize. You have two copies. My apologies.
Yeah, I have 2 copies too.
One paper we destroyed. Another 6 sheets. My apologies. Third page is your supervisor pay voucher, correct?
yes,
And you have Jensen on there as well, right?
down in the notes, correct.
So you document them twice, must have seen them, but for reasons that you can't explain, someone else signed this, correct?
Correct.
Anybody ever ask from the prosecutor's office about signatures on these sheets?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. And if we go back to the fourth page, that is your signature, correct?
Yes,
That's on Barella,
yes,
and you've got him on there, correct? You've got him on your activity sheet?
Varela, yes,
And you got, who's next? Next is Tano.
Tano,
That's on your activity sheet?
yes,
Next is Fernandez,
yes,
and straight on through. All your signatures, Evans, Rivera, Rosado, Williams.
yes, all my signatures.
All right, but a guy that, your paperwork indicates you saw at a given location, two parts of your paperwork, your pay voucher and your activity sheet, that you say you saw there, for whatever reason, has a signature on his pay voucher that's not yours.
Correct.
And you have no explanation or understanding as to why that occurred, correct?
No specific memory unless, for whatever reason, I gave him permission. I don't recall.
Okay, so no specific regulation unless maybe you gave him permission, is what you're saying.
Correct.
And you may have done that?
It's possible.
Okay.
When you say gave him permission, do you know who the him is
That was Officer Paul Jensen.
to sign this? You don't know who signed this.
I have no idea who signed that.
So the fact that you may have given them permission to sign it means that you've given people permission to sign your name.
Very seldom, but it probably has happened.
Okay. So, to be clear then, you're not attesting that you were there at that time signing this, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
D48.
Please take a look at what we marked as D48. Right, that is the first page?
Yes.
Who's Scott Roddy?
He's a detective in the ceasefire unit.
Okay. Looks like he put in for a Jersey officer to pay voucher for DOT and Pulaski Skyway Johnson and Light Rail, correct?
Correct.
Is that your signature?
No.
No. Okay. Now, I want you to look at the second page of this. You have S. Rogers on there, correct?
Yes.
And you start at 016, so that would be the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. And then you get up to number 11, an hour and a half later, you're at 0745, that's 7:45 a.m.?
Yes.
And then you have Rogers, Skyway Detail, I'm sorry, work location Johnson Light Rail, DOT Pulaski, Skyway 22. But you have that at 2000 hours, that's 8 o'clock, correct?
I messed up my military time, yes.
8 p.m.?
Yes.
Well, you had your military time correct throughout the rest of
Up
this.
until 12.
And then you jump 12 hours at 8 o'clock.
Yes, I put 8 p.m. instead of 8 a.m.
Okay, so then, is it your testimony you saw him there at 8 a.m.?
Yes.
Then why isn't your signature on there?
I don't recall.
Okay, so, to be clear, I just want to understand, because, and again, a lot of moving parts with this, correct?
Yes.
A bigger project than any really you could recall, correct?
Pretty much so, yes.
In your 30 years as a police officer.
9/11 was a bigger.
Okay,
Was a bigger operation.
let's withdraw from 9/11 was a tragedy of epic proportions, not planned, not expected. This was a project that was expected and agreed to and supposed to be organized and put together, correct?
Yes.
All right. And so, other than 9/11, this is the biggest project that you can recall in terms of off-duty work, trying to keep things moving in Jersey City while this massive traffic artery was closed down, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Longest, yes, biggest prolonged operation, yes.
Okay. And also having over 100 officers on a given day working on a detail like that.
Yes.
Okay, because if you do a construction detail, you may take a couple blocks on a building or something, but you don't get 100 officers a day on something like that.
Correct.
Okay. And so, you're telling us that this 2000 hours is a mistake, it should be 0800 when you saw him there, but yet still, you didn't sign, someone else did.
Correct.
And this could be an occasion where you let someone else sign for you?
That's possible.
Okay. Because if we look at the rest of these, Redmond, we'll go straight through. Cabrera, I mean, I've just been looking at your signature and it looks very distinctive to me. Cabrera, these are all your signatures, right? Why don't you go through and just quickly tell me if any of those are not your signature? Sullivan.
All my signature.
All your signature on these pay vouchers for June 19th, 2014, with regard to this off-duty detail, except for this one, which you're saying you saw the guy there because you just messed up the military time, but yet his pay voucher is a signature, not your own.
Correct.
It's attributed to you, but it's not your own, correct?
Correct.
All right. Take a look at D49.
8:49.
See this June 2nd date?
Yes.
Were you aware that's one of the days that Captain Ascalise and Officer Maetti were charged for in this indictment?
No.
Okay. On June 2nd, this first page, we have this Joseph Dreyer. We saw him before, correct?
Yes.
Now, this appears to be the 600 to 1000, that'd be the first shift, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it's NJ DOT Skyway, correct, Communiform Crescent, right?
Yes.
And I see Lieutenant Donnelly written there, you see that?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
No.
No. Okay. Now, But either way, but before you change the pages, let me just ask you this. Is it possible that's a scenario where you saw somebody and they, for whatever reason, you gave them permission to sign their name?
There are certain times that you would do that.
Okay, but you would be working the DOT and you would see them and you would, or, you know, you might give them permission.
Usually, yes, for me to sign, usually I'm working off duty, not on duty.
Off duty, you're working off duty DOT?
Correct.
Okay. Well, take a look at the second page. Now, this is page 22 of 109, I think it is. You see 6214, the entry down there? Your name, Neil P. Donnelly?
Yes,
All right. Now, it's got you from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. at $60 an hour, and then from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. at $70 an hour, correct?
yes.
Is there some kind of tour that you would get 8 hours, where the first hour would be $60 and the second through 8
Yes,
hours?
after 3 o'clock, I believe, after 4 o'clock, it becomes night rate, $10 an hour.
Okay, but that's not on the DOT. The DOT was $60 an hour, right?
Straight 60, I believe.
Okay. So, and there's an 8-hour tour, correct? The 8 hours you got paid for were 8 hours from 3 to 11, correct?
Okay, I don't see that on here.
My apologies. May I show you?
Yes.
All right, so you're here, you're in from 3 to 4, right?
Right.
And then at 60 an hour, and then the rate jumps from 60 to 70 from 4 to 11, correct?
Yes,
So that's 1 hour at 3 o'clock, starting at 3 o'clock at $60 an hour, and then 7 hours, starting at 4 o'clock at $70 an hour.
correct.
Okay. The DOT jobs were only 4 hours, correct?
Yes,
And they were only $60 an hour.
there were 4, I believe, at some point there were 8-hour DOT jobs.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the fourth page of this, the Skyway detail. Okay. Now, on June 2nd, were you even scheduled to work any of those as a supervisor?
This says Augie Joy.
No, no, okay, that's Augie Joy's off-duty activity sheet. I'm asking you to take a look at Pulaski Skyway detail. Were you even scheduled to work the Pulaski Skyway detail on that day?
No,
Okay. So, in terms of 8-hour tours, at least 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever, you were not even scheduled to work that day at a Pulaski Skyway detail, correct?
not according to this sheet, no.
All right. Now, if you would, take a look at the last page of this document. Now, do you see yourself on there in any way?
No,
Okay. And this is some kind of operations division, patrol division, daily assignments?
the last page,
Yeah. Oh, I apologize, the page before last.
that's the citywide supervisor roles.
Okay. Does this,
On duty.
does this indicate where you were or not on that day?
I'm sorry, did you say on duty? I didn't hear.
He said on duty.
On duty.
Does this indicate where you were that day?
I was working, that was 2014. 1 second, give me a second. 2010. Give me a second, so far I don't see my name on here.
Okay.
Midnights. I don't see my name on it.
Okay. Well, let's see. Take a look at Augie Joy's off-duty activity sheet.
Yes.
All right, now, you were asked before about, an earlier question about the location of those things. What detail was, Community Point Crescent, you know?
DOT.
I understand, I apologize, what, number would that be? Look at the last page, next to the last page, I sent you,
Last page.
I apologize, man. The last page of this, detail.
The Pulaski Skyway detail?
Yeah, my apologies. The second page of the Pulaski Skyway detail,
You referring to the master list?
the master
Yes.
list.
That's what we've been calling it.
Trying to get it back on.
Skyway detail.
To be clear, make it the master list.
Yeah.
52.
52. Now, that's uncovered now, correct?
Correct.
All right. But Joy is the supervisor listed, correct?
Yes.
And Joy doesn't have 52 covered on this sheet, correct?
Not on that sheet.
Okay, but he has specific times of when he visited the various places, correct?
On his patrol sheet?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. And is Community Point Crescent within, like, where's it, what's the closest intersection in relation to these other intersections here?
It's right above the junction.
One block?
Brandon, it's about a block and a half above the
Okay.
junction. Brandon, Community Point.
So, he doesn't have anybody working there, he doesn't have any buddy that he sees, anybody that he recognizes, but we have Dwyer, on a day you're not even a DOT boss, DOT supervisor, with a 6 to 10 voucher for that intersection with you, with your name and then a signature you say is not yours, correct?
Yes.
Could this have been an occasion where you gave permission to somebody to sign your name?
I wasn't assigned off duty. No, I wouldn't have given permission if I was there.
Okay. Well, so to be clear, did the prosecutor ever ask you how signatures that were not your own appeared on this pay voucher?
Not that I recall.
Okay. And as you sit here now, you can't tell us how on a day when my client's co-defendant, Joe Ascalise, was indicted for, where there's a pay voucher for an uncovered spot with your Ford signature on it.
I can't tell you that now.
You have any idea where this anomaly came from? On an indicted date?
No.
Okay. D50 is your patrol log / off-duty activity sheet for August 5th, right?
Yes.
All right, now, you have Skyway 34 was covered by crews, 38 and 39 went uncovered, and then in terms of the times that you went out there and looked, you don't have any times there. See that?
Yes.
Why?
Well, it's possible that I lost track of time after I started booking, and I just didn't want to go back and just start fudging stuff, so I just left it blank.
But you never had track of time because you didn't start, right?
Well, I started when I booked the units on post.
Okay, if the documentation is your recollection, what time did you start booking E. Vasquez?
Well, there's no time there, but was this a morning or an afternoon?
Well, we know from the master.
This was a morning, okay, it was a morning.
So you booked them sometime in the morning?
Sometime after 600, yes.
Okay. And you just would not put down the time, sometimes you would, correct? I mean, we've seen documents where you have your times, right?
Correct.
Same on D51.
Before you go on,
Yeah.
I just want to note for the record that you were able to determine that it was the morning when you looked at the second page of D50,
Yes, ma'am.
and the second page of D50 is the master list. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Actually, on that issue then, to be clear, there's nothing on your sheet that indicates it's the 0600 to 1000 or the The 7, what is it, the 3 to 7 would be 1,500 to 1,900, there's nothing on your sheet that says.
Nothing in the format of the activity sheet structure.
Well, nothing in the time on there, nothing on your notes, none of that stuff, right?
Right.
All right. Okay, without looking at the second page, at D51, what time of day was that?
Can't tell.
Okay, you can't tell because you're saying you booked these guys, and gals if there are any on there, but you just don't know what time it was. You don't even know if it was the morning shift or the afternoon shift, right?
Correct.
And then only by looking at the second page where it looks like you're scheduled, we can see that it was,
Doesn't have a time. That I can see.
okay, so this doesn't even tell you what time it was.
Correct.
All right, so at this juncture, sitting here now, a document that you submitted for verification of where officers were and what they were doing, you can't tell us what time you even saw these guys or gals. When I say guys, I'm not being in any way other than these officers. You didn't see these officers at any given time. You can't tell us any of that just by looking at the sheet you filled out.
Correct.
All right. Same, we can do this. 52 and 53, those are your sheets, right?
Yes.
And again, no times that we can look on here and determine, unless we look at the second sheet, which tells us that, you worked at some point that day, you don't know when, based on this copy at least, but we just don't know what time of day it was, when you saw these people, where you were, and so on, correct?
Correct.
And again, that's 53 as well, correct?
Yes.
Because sometimes you put times down, sometimes you do not put times down, correct?
That's
And it was not just one time you didn't put times down, I turned to 4 in that period of time, from April to, I think the period of time we have here is from April to September. I just showed you the document. Maybe there was one in October. I apologize if there was. Let me double check. Yep, there was one in October, October 7th. So in that period of time, as many as you worked, there were multiple occasions where you didn't write down times at all, correct?
correct.
Sometimes you did write down the times, though. We've seen some of those, right?
Yes.
The first page of D54, is that your off-duty activity sheet? And these are all of them, so there's some redundancy here, all but one. Is this your off-duty activity sheet for 4/25/14?
Yes.
Okay. Second one, is that your April 28th off-duty activity sheet?
Yes.
Third one, is that your April 29th activity sheet?
Yes.
Fourth one, is that your May 13th, 2014 DOT off-duty activity sheet?
Yes.
Okay. Fifth one, 6/4. June
Yes.
4th. That's yours as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. 6/6, I'm sorry, it is in here. 6/6. This is June 6th. This is when you were asked about by the prosecutor and me yesterday, correct?
Yes.
June 19th is the next one, correct?
Yes.
July 1st is the next one, correct?
Yes.
July 9th.
Yes.
Yeah, July 24th is the next one.
Yes.
July 25th.
Yes.
August 5th.
Yes.
August 12th.
Yes.
August 27th.
Yes.
September 9th.
I have September 3rd.
My apologies. September 3rd.
Yes.
September 16th.
Yes.
September 23rd.
Yes.
September 25th.
Yes.
September 26th.
Yes.
October 1st.
Yes.
And October 7th, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the first one, we can do this together. This one has times on it, right?
Correct.
And you run from 15:20, it's 3:20 p.m. to 17:30, correct?
Correct.
So that's 2 hours and 10 minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's you moving around timing yourself, noting the times when you saw the various offices at various locations, correct?
Yes,
The next one, the 28th of April. Start at 6:30, you finish at 8 o'clock, correct?
correct.
It's 1.5 hours, right?
Yes,
The next one, 29th. Start at 06:35 and you conclude at 08:30, correct?
correct.
An hour and 55 minutes.
Yes,
Next one, May 13th, from 6:20 to 8:10, that's an hour and 50 minutes, correct?
yes,
On the 4th, from 06:30 to 08:30, that's 2 hours, correct?
yes,
Skip the 6th for a minute, we'll go back to that. The 19th, we have 06:15, you think the 100 hours was a mistake, it's 0800 hours, that's an hour and 45 minutes, correct?
yes,
July 1st, we have an hour and a half, correct?
yes,
July 9th, we have an hour and a half, correct?
yes,
July 24th, we have an hour and 50 minutes, correct?
yes,
July 25th, we have an hour and 50 minutes, correct? I apologize, an hour and 30 minutes.
yes,
No times on August 5th, so we don't know how quickly or slowly you got that done. 2.5 hours on August 12th, right?
yes,
On the 27th, you were out there for, now this is August 27th, do you remember there being a change in the detail?
no,
Do you remember an occasion where after the 23rd, they had a reduced amount of posts?
I don't know the exact time frame, but I know there was a reduction of posts at some point.
Okay. This is an hour and 5 minutes, but there's only 6 posts, correct?
Correct,
The next one is 2 hours and 40 minutes on September 3rd, correct?
yes,
The next one is September 16th, and that one is an hour and 25 minutes, correct?
yes,
23rd, we don't have a time on that, so we don't know. 25th, we don't have a time on that, so we don't know. The 26th, we have an hour and 20 minutes, correct?
yes,
And an hour, and on October 1st, we have an hour and 15 minutes, right?
yes,
And we don't know October 7th, we don't know your time on that, correct?
correct.
The one we do have time for on June 6th, could you go to that, please?
And
Okay. This one is the one you were shown, the only one you were shown by the prosecutor, correct?
to my recollection, correct.
Yeah. And you start at 0643
Right,
and you end at 0725, correct?
yes,
42 minutes. By far the shortest one, by almost a half hour of all the others, correct?
correct.
And the ones that went 110, that was after, that was
We
with
went
6.
through a lot of them.
Yeah. So the one that my client is under indictment for, you were brought in here, you whipped through all of these different posts in 42 minutes, right?
Yes,
All the rest of them, especially before the 23rd, were at least, let's look, 2 hours and 10 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 55 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes, 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, no time, 2.5 hours, and then after August 27th, you have one for an hour and 5 minutes, and a couple other ones that were an hour and a half or so. As I sit here now, can you tell me what was happening that day? Were you able to get through your course as a supervisor and tell the court yesterday that you didn't see my client in 47 minutes?
I don't remember that day specifically.
And it's all based upon, your recollection's all based upon the paperwork, correct?
Right.
And after I've shown you all this paperwork, you have less faith in the paperwork than you may have walking in here?
Well, as far as the times here, if there could be a traffic situation, I don't know. But
Okay.
I can't specifically explain the time differences.
Okay. And so, the only testimony you can offer about who you saw where during this period of time 4 years ago is based solely on whatever may or may not be contained in these documents, correct?
Yes.